morning all, Nimby here. Today we're going to be tying up some red ants. Morning, you was. Hey mate, just getting the stream all set up here, just be 1 second. There we go. Actually we're going to do some red ants. These ones take like a little bit of preparation, so we're going to get the bodies done up and let that dry. And then I'll do we'll kind of get one half done and then we'll move on to the next one and rotate. Mostly because I'm not using UV glue, I gotta let the glue dry before we move on to the next one. But you guys will get the idea in a second here. Okay, so we're gonna start tying in its red butt. You want to have it, yeah. There you go. Enjoy your break, man. Let me get my half hitch out here as a pointer. So we want to start like right mid shank, and the butt's gonna be from just past the barb on the hook to the point of the hook. Basically, is where we want to make the butt, and we'll have a midsection and then head and thorax. And for kicks and giggles, I'm gonna do two different kind of versions or types of this one. We'll see how it goes, but I'm gonna do some with wings and some without wings, some with just legs. You can definitely tie in floss for this and wrap the floss. Yeah, there you go. I appreciate that, Rob. Now there's a number of ways you can tie these for sure. There is no kind of right or wrong way to do an ant. And we'll probably play with some of the materials and stuff, but red and black floss makes a little bit shorter work of all the thread wraps on it, but you can definitely do it. Like I'm going to do this first one with just thread wraps. Oop. Thread wraps will give you a little bit more control and give you a tighter body. I guess one downside is you'll use a lot more thread. Hey, thanks, Rob. Got my little one donation goal. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you. Just gonna finish this here. Trying to concentrate on my thread. There we go. Dues for my dude. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Myself and my family thoroughly thank you for all the donations and support that you've given us. If you're gonna do thread wraps like I'm doing here, the most important part is to work it up slowly and slowly get a bulbous butt build up here. If you go too fast and too high on any one point on it, you'll get the thread will start sliding left or right depending on, you know, how steep you built it up. So that's pretty good. And I'm just going to bring my thread forward here, and then I'll tie that off, and we'll switch to the black, and then we'll coat it. We'll let this one dry, and then we'll skip off to the next. As soon as I find where I put my black thread down. There we are. Oop. And I pulled the thread out. Nope. Got it. I did wrap it around the bobbin holder. 1 second here, let me get this straightened out. There we go. Hey Muddy, good to have you in, man. Muddy won something? Did I miss another stream? I hope not. Well, congrats on winning, Muddy. Okay, I'm tying these in just offside the doing all my half hitches just offside of the butt area. If you do it on your butt, you're gonna make lumps on the thread. So it's better to do all your tie offs or both of these sides in the middle where we're gonna be doing our hackle wraps. If you try to tie it off too close to the butt, you're gonna end up with a bit of a lump wherever you end up tying it off. And this will also take the tension off. This will keep your tension nice and tight here and take it and move it over to there. Not 100% necessary, but definitely will make your ant look better. Really cool! Oh man, I missed that. When was that? I remember oh, I did watch part of that stream, didn't I? Yeah, that was your 100 one. I think you were actually at like 120 something when you actually did the giveaway though, but I get it. Cool, congrats, Muddy. That's awesome. And thanks for being so generous with the cool giveaways there, Rob. I appreciate that. Yeah, it was. That was the one I missed. I did catch the VOD after. Okay, I'm gonna bring this black thread all the way up. I want to be careful because I want to have room for a head. So I want to be building this where I'm wrapping now, like maybe half a bodkin width from the eye. I want to start building it there and then building it back. I do want to leave a good amount of room for that hackle wrap. And the front bulb is going to be slightly smaller than the back. Not a whole lot. Probably chose the wrong shirt color for this fly. It's pretty much all black. Oh well. Should have went with a lighter colored shirt. Okay, so you do have a couple options here. Let's put my hand up so everyone can see the ant body. So that's kind of what we want. We want it to be just slightly smaller, and I want to leave that room up in front there. So there's a few options that you can do with this. You can whip finish it now, put the glue on, and then hackle it, which is what I'm going to do with this one. And we'll just we'll do the second one while this one's drying. The other option is you can throw the hackle in now, and then put the glue on and try and not get the glue on the hackle. If it's just for your own box, that's probably the easiest and quickest way to do it. It's not going to end up being as clean because the hackle or the glue always finds a way to wick up into the hackle. The downside of doing it the way we're doing it right now in segments is, one, it takes longer, and two, if you don't let it dry as much, you can kind of crack it as you're tying in the the leg hackle. There we go. But nice, quick, easy fly. You can tell it's not terribly difficult. It's a little bit, like I said, it uses up a good bit of thread, but not a crazy amount. And if, like I said, if thread's an issue for you, just grab some like red and black, especially if you want to get that little bit more pop of red color. This will just like Unifloss. Hey, that's really cool, you Rob. Thanks, man. I need to get back at the giveaways. Okay, I'm gonna cut this off here. Sorry, brain shut off for a second there. You do want to trim it off fairly close there, and we'll put a little bit, we'll do our head cement first, and then we'll do our lacquer. Head cement will give it a nice darker color, a lot more true to the kind of army ants we have up here. They're not really a red, they're more like a reddy brown. I have to get the application going a little bit quicker here. Ha! Yeah, they can be buggers. The ones we get up here are pretty docile. We get two different varieties though. And they do migrate, and that's where they become the fish food. Because they like to fly into the water. So most of the time when you see ant patterns, you're going to see the flying ants because they're the most likely ones to end up in the water. But like I said, we'll do both varieties here. I'm going to do a good number. We're just going to let that soak for a moment here. Actually, I'm going to try we'll go with the fast dry, see if that'll help our cause here a little bit. Of course, if you're using UV resin, that'll make this part all the swifter, right? Okay, I'm gonna have to spin that for just a moment here, get a nice even gloss coat on it. It's looking pretty good for my eyes so far. Ah. Yeah. Like, so the ones we have up here are pretty docile. Unless you like upset their nest area, then they're pretty good. Now they're being annoying and getting everywhere, they don't really do much. But we have two different varieties. One of them's a fair bit bigger than the other. I'm going to be sticking this right in the middle of this cork just so I don't get any of the other dry flies on here. The main thing I want to do is keep it away from the cork so it's got air around it. And we'll let that dry and we'll get on to the second one. What I normally do for these is I'll tie 3 bodies like that, and by the time I'm on to the 3rd body, the first one's done and I can start tying in the hackles. But you could do 5. Again, if you're using UV resin, obviously that would be cured already. You can go jump right to the right to tying in wings. If you want to do wings, my favorite thing to do is just use the little yeah, exactly. And you can just definitely tie these just with the thread without the glue, or in this case nail polish. But like you said, I like the shininess of it. I really do think that that does help. So again, we're gonna go like right mid hook, and we'll go back and do our butt. When I tied these last time, I had a bunch of these done up ahead of time, so I could just jump right to doing some wings and keeping that rotation going. But I wasn't sure exactly what fly I was going to tie this morning, or like I said, I would have wore a different color shirt. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm not trying to steal show flies' thunder at all. I enjoy his ants. And I'm not even sure if I'm actually doing the exact same pattern as him, but they're, most ant patterns are pretty similar. And yeah, you can just do them thread body, like I was saying, and not worry about the polish. The polish will also make them a lot more, it'll change the buoyancy too, because you're trapping some air in the thread body. So they will become a little more buoyant. Not like they'll float, but they'll definitely sink slower. So if you're going with, if you need to get them down, or you're fishing in a creek and you need to get a little more weight on them, just straight up thread body and then a little bit of wire under each wrap, under each bump, can definitely help get them down a little better for you. I don't normally do that. They're pretty streamlined, but depending on where you're fishing them, having a couple that are weighted, isn't going to be a horrible idea. Try my best not to catch my thread on that lump there. Yep, I did get it. That would be like antastic. We could have like an army of ants take everything over. Oh, one thing I forgot to do. I normally, these ones are kind of bent out, but where'd my other ones go? Sorry guys, 1 second here. If you want to get consistency, and it really doesn't matter all that much, but where'd my pokey bit go? Sorry, 1 second, trying to get it out of my tool caddy here. It fell down into the bowels of the tool caddy. There we go. With fluff on it. Alright. I should have measured the other one. But if you want to get some consistency, you can use like some calipers like these. Just so you're getting like, you're not making some with really thick butts and some with really thin butts. So I want to go a little thicker. If you don't have calipers like that handy, you can just use a pair of scissors that are fairly stiff and just pop them out. One thing I used last time when I was tying these, and I've bent them out since then, as I just used my tweezers, but my new tool rack didn't fit them, so I bent my tweezers out a bit. But before, the tweezers used to be like yay big, and I would just like rub it on there. So you can do that too, whatever you got kicking around. You can even use a little piece of cardboard, or you can just eyeball it. I mean, no one's gonna stop you. But if you're looking for really consistent shaped flies, a caliper like that'll help. I got one wrap on this side here where there's a little, just a slight ledge. Oop, yeah, see that, how it popped my line over? That's what we want to try and avoid. I always think I do till I get like half a dozen tied up, and then I'm like, oh, I thought I had those even. And again, for your own box, it really isn't going to make any difference, right? It's more for if you're trying to production tie or get them somewhat even. That's pretty good there. Hopefully this is stimulating enough for everyone. Pun intended, because we just finished tying some stimulators. I thought it would be a fun little switch to go from a complicated fly down to something really simple like an ant. And just because it's simple doesn't mean it isn't fun to tie, though. One thing I will say is you definitely want to use like a at least a 6/0 or thicker, or you're going to be spinning this all day. Yeah, I thought about using a colored hook because I got a bunch. I got some red ones, I got black, and some green. I've actually tied these with green hooks before, and it actually worked really well. They're kind of like a chartreusey green color. There we go. And as you get a little more confident on these, you can spin them up a lot faster. I'm not really trying to go for speed here. But overall, the kind of goal is to slowly build your taper up. If you make too much of a mound in the middle, your thread wraps, and keeping your thread, this is actually a really good pattern for just practicing consistent thread tension. If your thread tension's off, the thread will tend to walk left and right. So you're basically going to be going left and then back to right, kind of like when you're reeling line on the spool, and then just lingering a little bit more in the middle every time, and that'll slowly build it up. Again, this section here we want to have slightly smaller and not as pronounced as the other. So our gauge should be loose in there now. Yeah, there we go. That's probably good then. That's an excellent idea. Add a little flash to it. Or even like if you have a bright colored like silver hook, you know, trying different things like that, it's always a good idea. Adds a little bit of pop. And you can definitely throw in like different types of flash on here. In as the legs too. Like if you don't want to do the hackle, because the hackle can be annoying for a lot of people, and it's just one extra step. It's not super necessary. Do I have some here? One second. I know I have some, just if I have it handy. You can also use biots for the legs too. There she is. This red and black crystal flash works a treat for a lot of patterns like ants and such. I'm going to keep it on top here in case we decide to throw some of that in there. Okay, yeah, you can. I personally like to use the little tiny hackle feathers that you don't normally use on a cape. Yeah, you can use. Come on now. You could use silver tinsel. I've seen a lot of people use the kind of pearlescent mylar that looks really good as a wing too. But we'll get to the wing part. We're gonna do, I think I'll do like half a dozen of these or so without the wings, and then we'll switch to wings. Just get all the fuzz and cat hair off of it before we put the glue on. Oh, there's a little better view for you guys. Yeah, this music, I think it was Alex Jones, this music we're listening to. He just put it into the YouTube music library. I was really enjoying it because I like kind of 80s synth pop stuff. Was kind of in the mood for that. I was looking for some new tunes to add to the playlist. And I was like, oh, yeah, I really like this guy's stuff. I'm going to go check out his, link channel. And he's only got 200 subs. I'm like, dude, you got some good music on the YouTube library, and you only got 200 subs. So it shows it takes all kinds. Yeah, if you go to the YouTube library and just search for like the newest ones, his will come up there. He's the most current ones in February. Yeah, if you like the music, go give him a sub. I think that's really cool that he has his going on here. So this, the first one here is to really for the color change and also to melt the wax. That'll cause our, I'm not really trying to coat the whole thing necessarily. Well, I am, but I'm not trying to get, this is not the gloss coat. This is really just to soak in and to get that wax melted so that our, you can see it's starting to get sticky because it's melting the wax. And I gotta stop when I see that. I can tell just by the way this rubs on it. You can feel the wax starting to melt. And it doesn't take long, just a few seconds like that. Once the wax starts melting, that's when you want to jump in fairly quickly with your nail polish. This Sally Hansen's quick dry stuff does dry substantially quicker than the other normal Sally Hansen's. Oop, got a little much down there. I think we'll be okay. Just gonna let that spin here, get this back in the bottle. We'll rotate that for a moment. Like I said, this stuff seems to dry pretty quick. It's filling in my middle gap there a little much more than I'd like it to, but it's fine. It won't make any difference when I'm wrapping it in. And it does tend to shrink a bit while it dries, so we'll see how this looks when it's drying. Otherwise, I'll pay a little more attention to keeping that out of the between the thorax and the head there. Or I guess the butt and thorax. Okay, I'm just gonna leave you upside down for a second. The top bit looks a little thinner than the bottom. Alright, let's see how this guy's doing. Just gonna very gently touch him. Oh yeah, he's hardened up real. Dang. Okay. It's not tacky at all. Okay, so that stuff does dry substantially quicker than the other. Its working time is much less though. I gotta be on the spot. But you can see how much this one shrunk compared to the one that's in there now, so I'm hoping the same thing will happen. And the head cement will help with that because it'll cause it to suck in. But I may have gotten a little bit more. I'm gonna spread these out a bit so I get my fingers in there. There we go. So we got those two. Hey wee man, good to have you in, man. It's tea time. More tea. Hey Yoshi. Doing up some little red ants today. Nice and simple, fun little pattern. It's simple, but there's like, you know, still a good amount of steps to it. Especially with the fact I got dry time in between each one. I think we'll go with the, we'll do up 5 and then start tying the wings in. That'll give it more time to cure fully. Okay, so just a few more wraps past the. I don't want to go into the bend on this style hook too much so it'll slide, but I think that'll be fine. And you don't really use a lot of thread making these. Like, obviously more than you would with a regular pattern, but... Oh, it's all good, man. It can be hard to say hi to everyone. I have that trouble all the time. And I don't think we're alone. We all seem to have that same issue when we're jumping in and there's, you know, 10 or 15 of our buds in the chat. I'm getting a little bit lumpy here. I'm just going to try and sort that. Yeah, there you go. Okay, that's nice and bulbous. I think I'm a little on the short side, but we'll check with the feeler here. Oh yeah, still got a ways to go. That's why it's good to do. But again, if it's for your own box, whatever's. And me and the wife went thrifting yesterday. Found some. Ooh, that's not good. That's exactly what I was trying to avoid. I don't want it slipping off like that. Buddy. See, you're not building my taper up enough there. I have to back up and build it up a little better. It's not as important as if you're doing these. I think the way Showflies was doing it without the lacquer, it's not as important because the lacquer will hold everything together. But you still want to make sure you have a nice strong body. And your thread control will help you with that. Okay, I think we're closer now. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, if you want to make short work of these two without a thread body, like I was saying, you can just use some red floss. I think last time I tied these, that's how I did it. Red and black floss makes it a lot quicker, obviously, because you're not wrapping all the thread. Definitely not required whatsoever. You can do it with thread just fine. That's what we're doing today. The other benefit of the floss is it'll give you a lot more glossy look, so especially for the black section. And if you're doing this in reverse with the black butt, then it looks really good in floss because you're making a bigger back butt section, and the floss just has that little bit of a shiny glow to it. Where to put my black there? There we go. So we're obviously a bit early in the season for terrestrials. These would be more your mid to late spring kind of deal. Yeah. The ones I was using before was just this shred Unifloss. Glow-Brite makes some good stuff though. My shops around here normally don't carry like the I want to say standard colors, but that's the wrong terminology. They carry more like the fluorescent yellow, green, pink, that kind of stuff. But I know they do make it, and they even have a black. There, that's looking a little better. We want to keep the thorax head portion a little more elongated and thinner than the butt. I think we're good there. Yeah, I'll grab some, it's just a brand. Do I have any kicking around here? I have some in my thread box, but I'd have to grab it out of the thread box. Yeah, sorry, Rob, I don't have any on my desk right now. Another brand that's really common is Danville's. So Danville's acetate. It's nice and bright, but it's not. Glow Bright has a lot of, well, it glows, hence the name. It has a lot of UV kick to it. So, but it's used in a lot of different fly patterns for like hot spots and stuff. A lot of times you can just do like one wrap, say like if you're doing like a bead nymph. So a lot of people will use it on the other side of the bead just to give it a pop of color. It's good stuff though. And they also make like smaller, I want to say thread, but it's not really, it's a little thicker than thread, but they make it in, instead of floss, that you can buy it in like a thread spool. Yeah, you'll see them. And your fly shop should have them, most do, but the color variations that they have in the shop might be limiting. Broke my thread off there before I got the whip finishes in, but I think he'll be good. So again, two-step process. We're going to do the head cement and then the whip finish. Yeah, they have different denier offerings. Most of it you're going to find is the thicker floss, but they also have it in I don't know what denier it is, but it's definitely higher than 72, and I have some. So again, we're just covering the whole surface here, waiting for it to get tacky. You can see it starting to pull off. I don't know if the camera's picking it up or not, probably not. But you can see it pulling off in like little threads. Once it gets to that point, I like to spin it for just a second, then we'll add the nail polish. But again, that's melting the, if you're not using uni thread, and you're using a GSP thread, that whole step is completely redundant. You don't need to use it. That's only if you're using a wax thread. If you're using a GSP, just jump right to, it might be a little hard to build the lumps. I haven't actually tried. Normally whenever I'm building thread body flies, I'm using yeah, they have a good variety. And I think they used to actually have more. I think they were up to like 24 or so, and then they cut back. Hey, thanks, Fishing with Rivers. And Jack Pepper, good to have you in, man. Oh, okay. I don't know why I always like doing overhead lighting stuff. Thanks for the dono, Rivers. Oh, and just so everyone's aware, if they get any, not that it's a big deal, I meant to throw this on the community post, but from now until, I think it's May 6th, it's a good ways. My channel, anyway, I'm not sure if it's all Canadians, but certain Canadian channels got picked out for bonuses for super chats and mostly with gems and that sort of thing. I get an extra 50% on any donations for super chats and jewels and stuff until May 6th. So that's kind of cool of them. I appreciate that. Because they just rolled out the gem feature in Canada, so I think it's kind of a little promo for the whole gems thing. It was all over the States before it was here, and now we have gems too. Whee! I think they're fun though. I have some. I don't use it typically a whole lot. I've used it in some salmon fly patterns and stuff too, just to have like tabs and tints on the butts of flies and such. There's a little, I'm probably going to regret this, but there's a little tiny, yeah, especially for some channels. And I mean, they don't need to do that, but I'm happy they did. Yeah, there's just a little whiff of a thread there from where I broke my thread, but I'm going to leave it because it's probably just going to pull the glue apart. And that looks like it's drying pretty good. Okay, we'll add him to the cork. Yeah, I've only found, the only reason I haven't used it a lot is the color I have is like it's almost like a maroon kind of royal blue. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you could do all sorts of stuff with this. It doesn't have to be an ant, for sure. You can make it, yeah, you could do like a just soft hackle up front, like a partridge or a grouse or something like that, and make it look like a spider pattern. Yep. If I was doing spiders, I'd probably switch to the floss just to make the bodies bigger, quicker, so I'm not wasting like a good chunk of my spool every time, you know. But thread's cheap too, so, you know, whatever works for you. Okay, I think we're good there. I'm gonna pop it on here. Yeah, I have some here. Since we're talking about this all the time, I'm gonna. So there we go. So this butt's nice. Yeah, they're somewhat consistent. I think I made that one head a little big, but I'm being too picky with myself. They're just little ants. Let's see if this guy's dry yet. Yeah, that quick dry sure dries quick. That's cool. I'm gonna use that more often, I think, now. Okay. Here, one just for Rob's benefit, since we're stopping or in between flies here, I'll grab some Glow Bright for him. One sec. Yeah, sorry, I took my mic off. I just realized I didn't have my mic on. So, one downside having it on my head. Nice part is though that's always on my head when I have it on, so I don't have to worry about my audio being all loopy. But yeah, sorry. So you saw two there. You see they have numbers on them. This one's a 5. Yeah, you can see this one's like a thinner version. The white spools are a little thicker. So you saw the first one I showed you, it's more like a floss. It's about twice the denier, and I'm not sure what denier this is, but it's probably like 140 or something like that. It's pretty thick, but it's thin enough that you can wrap it really well, but it makes really excellent like hot spots. And the UV on this is insane, like it just pops when you get it out in the sunlight. It's just super bright, hence the name Glow Bright, right? But yeah, should definitely get a couple spools of that just for hot spots. Orange is really popular, the yellow and the chartreuse are really popular, so I'd probably get at least those. And if you're trying to add a little flash or a little glow to a fly, or even just to tell your flies apart, it's pretty common for people to just add a wrap or two of that right behind the bead on like a nymph, on a bead nymph. And then you can tell which ones are weighted and which ones aren't. You know, you can color code your box that way and still add like a little flash to it. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. I wanted to show Rob that material though. So hopefully everyone enjoyed that. I do somewhere. You can order it online. I'm sure even Amazon probably has it. It's been around for a good while, since the 90s at least. In my opinion, it's one of the few products that has actually gotten better since it came out. The first couple times I bought it, it was like, meh, you know, it was okay, but it wasn't much different than a lot of other UV colors that you could get. And when I think they first came out, they only had like 4 or 5 colors. And I used to use them with salmon flies. But yeah, definitely one of those things that you want to have in your tying box, because it does come in handy. And even if you're not tying a specific pattern with it, it's, like I said, just for hot spots. Oh yeah, I don't have one handy. I don't use UV glue, so I have a UV lamp. Actually, what I used to do is put them under the lamp. Really? That's, jeez, that's dumb. It wasn't even your delivery then. Oh my gosh. Okay, well you know that you know what I'm saying. The usual online suspects you can probably get it from. You know, there's like J Stockard and like Fly Shack, and there's gobs of online stores, or even just like Cabela's online or something will probably have it too, or Bass Pro or whatever. Embroidery thread, actually, I've done that a few times, works pretty good for this too. Yeah, I got the orange 5 here, so that one's kind of a staple because it's a buggy color for fish, especially like brook trout just go nuts over that orange color. And salmon like it, and steelhead like it. Just a good color. Oh, good. We'll be here when you get back. Okay, just gonna try and even this out a bit now. Got a little bit of a ledge going on the butt side here. I'm just gonna try and, oop, yeah, there we go. Thought that was gonna happen. I'll get that cleaned up here. That's kind of what you're trying to avoid, is those ledges where your thread's gonna slip down. I want it to be a nice even taper up. Welcome back, man. Well, it's not the most thrilling pattern in the world, but hopefully you guys are enjoying. It's a fun pattern, though. I should throw the Ants Go Marching song on. There we go. This does work so well to like keep your fly size consistent. It really does help, especially if you got older eyeballs. Thankfully, I got gobs of uni in black and red. Try to keep myself stocked in those two colors. I should do up some bloodworms too, because that's a really important spring pattern here. I have some tied up, but I really should have a lot more tied up. Just reminded me that it's another simple pattern like this where you're not really doing a whole lot. I do have a long form video on my favorite bloodworm pattern, but there's many different variations on it. There you go. Yeah, it's almost tea time. Need to get my tea drinking down before it gets too cold. Okay, I think I'm good here. Just trying to smooth it out a little bit. There we go. Okay, now we should have some movement on this one. And we do, that's good. And again, that's like, you don't need to go that crazy to get it looking good or to be functional at all. Just helps my brain with consistency. Okay. I'll do a quick little whip finish just to smooth that out. Forgot the whip finish on the last one. Not super important because we're going to be gluing the whole thing up. There we go. Fun little pattern though. I should tie some of these up with my daughter now that I'm thinking about it. She's been asking to do more fly tying. She's actually surprisingly good for her age. She's really a natural at it, I have to say. She was a lot better than I was at her age, that's for sure. You don't want to be too much. You'll get the hang of how much to put on. You just kind of want to wet the surface so it'll soak in. Sure. That, yeah, that's a type of floss actually. It's a 4-strand floss. It was a manufacturing technique, and personally, it drives me nuts. I, I don't like. I have some here. Let me find some for you. I got some kicking around. That's probably half unspooled because of all that. There we go. So here's a 4-strander. See the 4 strands coming out. And you can see them kind of coming up there. So it's a 4-strand rayon or nylon floss. But they're made the same. This is just easier to show you because it's all in uh, one go there. But it's a manufacturing process to do with nylon or rayon. That's why I switched to, I mean, if I have a choice, I'll use like single strand uni floss like this in red. But I have the exact same, I'm not going to go and get it. Oh, maybe I do have it here. 1 second. No, I don't. I have it in my kit. Yeah, no, I love tying with her. I wish I'd spent more time tying with her, to be honest. She always asks me, and I have to stop making excuses and just make more time for it. But yeah, out of all my kids, she's the only one that enjoys fly tying, and she sure does. Her eyes just light right up. And I don't have any of her flies. She's got them in her room. I thought about that. I thought about having her in here. She asked a few times, but honestly, I want to keep my kids off here. No offense to the platform. No offense to you guys. It's just, I have done some videos with my kids. If you dig back far enough, you'll see them in there. Um, Sorry, Jack Pepper. You feel free to jump back and forth if you need to, man. No worries. Um, yeah, I just thought, the more I've been doing this, the more I realize, like, I want to keep my kids out of this. She'd be thrilled to do it, but, I think I'm gonna not include her as much as both of us would like it, just for future stuff, right? Our time together is just like our time. I'm sure you guys understand. And I have to be careful with YouTube's, yeah, well, it's not so much for the weirdos too, but yeah, I mean, like I said, no, like I said, I'm on the fence on it because, like, for me, it would be a father-daughter thing, and it wouldn't have that connotation to it, but it's like, it's hard to do it and not. or have, you know, years later something, like you said, some creeper or something come up. But has definitely crossed my mind, and I wanted to do it. And like I said, I have done some videos with the kids in it in the past, but because, you know, I'm proud of my kids and they're fun to be around and do videos with, and they love YouTube. I mean, what kid doesn't? My younger son actually does stop animation videos, and he's really good at it. I'm hoping he keeps up with it. But I think he got a little bit discouraged with all the AI animation that's coming out, because it takes him sometimes days to do just a small video, right? And then with AI now, he can just prompt it and come out with pretty much, you know, the same thing or better. So I think it's kind of taken the wind out of his sails, unfortunately. But he's got a little channel where he uploads his animations and some video game stuff. And I like to support him doing that kind of thing. But I think he's kind of lost his spark with it. But, you know, he's a young kid, right? Things are fickle when you're that age. He might come back to it. I also understand that the whole YouTube thing's a lot of work. And it should be fun for them, so if they're not into it, that's cool too. I'd rather it be fun for him, and he still makes the videos, he just doesn't post them. But he does, like, yeah, like I said, it'll take him days just to make a short little video, but he makes them out of, I want to say plasticine, I guess, is the proper term for it, like modeling clay. And he'll sometimes throw in like a toy or something, like a Lego figure, different things sometimes. But most of the time he models everything with the clay. And he's really talented at it. Like I've done, because I used to be an animator, and I did a fair bit of claymation animation as well, but mostly 3D animator is what I did for a living. So he comes by it honestly. But yeah, I worked for Industrial Light and Magic, and actually animated, well, a number of somewhat semi-famous scenes, I guess, but the one I was most proud of was the RC car racing for Toy Story, the original Toy Story, where they're racing the RC car down the road from Sid's place. And I did a lot of modeling for Sid's house. Yeah, like that, yeah. He's really into, he loves bugs and he loves evolution, that kind of stuff, so he'll do lots of like kind of morphing from one animal to another. You know, kind of like butterfly and chrysalis and that kind of thing. But he loves insects. But you figure he'd be into the fly tying thing, because you're basically making insects, but nope. Not interested in it at all. That being said, he loves fishing, but I figured he'd be all over the fly tying, but being that he's really interested in. Oh no. You don't get rich doing animation, man. It's quite the opposite. That's one of the reasons I got out of it. Because I put my heart and soul. I put my heart and soul into those animations, and I barely made any money. And not only that, because I was a contractor. Ugh, keep bouncing off the end there. Gotta build this side up a little bit more. Oh. Because I was a contractor for Industrial Light and Magic, I didn't even get my name in the credits. I was just like, my team got the name in the credits, but not us individually. But that's how they save money. Oh wow, I got a ways to go. See, to me, like, to my eyes, it looked like I had it built up enough, but you can see there's quite a bit of room left to go there. Yeah, anyway, he comes by it honestly because I loved animation. I mean, it was back in the early 2000s, but I think I was lucky to make, like, I don't know, 20-something thousand for the year of work. It wasn't like, you know, probably could have made the same amount flipping burgers. It really didn't pay well. And they expect, like, hard deadlines. It's really stressful. Stuff breaks all the time. Sometimes you'll waste, like, a whole weekend just because of a rendering error. All that being said, though, it was my my dream job at the time. But I did it. I made it there. I did the thing. Came back home. Realized I didn't want to do it forever. Same with coding for that aspect. I also was into coding at the time, so I did a lot of websites and back-end stuff and ASP.NET mostly. Yeah, make that a little thick. Yeah, that's okay. Slips through, it's good enough. And I got out of ASP.NET because there's one, I was making a shopping cart for one company, and I don't remember how many hours, but it was a lot of hours, like a whole day. I was trying to get this stupid shopping cart to compile properly. It just wouldn't, no matter what I did. And I would go over the code again and again, like thousands of lines of code, and I couldn't figure out why it wasn't compiling. A lot of times when you're compiling, you get compiling errors. It's not like other parts of a website where if you have an image missing, it's obvious that it's the image that's missing, and it's, you can easily tell what the problem is. With compiling errors, a lot of times it won't give you any indication of what's wrong, so you don't really have anything to go on. And that was one of those cases, and I spent hours and hours and hours trying to figure it out, and I just had a semicolon in the wrong spot on one line. And after like 8 hours of trying to figure this out, I was like, okay, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. So I still have all those skills, and they still come in handy because I know how coding works and everything. But especially with AI now, it's like that whole aspect of my university career is kind of not really worth a lot anymore. It was fun to learn, though. But that's the thing they told everyone in the late 90s, 2000s, like, get into coding, get into animation, get into computers. And I did, but now all those jobs are gone. Or if they're not gone, they're slowly walking out the door. Oh, tell me about it. That was just... It was like a whole day's worth of work, and it was just one semicolon. It was like, yeah, like, I don't need this kind of stress in my life, is kind of what I was thinking after. Like, I could do so many other things and not have to deal with that kind of stress. So a lot of people think it's like, a flashy job like you see on the TV, and you get to do all these really cool, important things, and it's like, no, you're pretty much sitting there all day with like a notepad in front of you and just typing in a notepad and fixing broken stuff that should have worked but didn't work. It's an honest living, but the stress level can be quite high on it. Okay, so there we go. So this guy should be just a little bit lower. Yeah, we got some wiggle in there. Yeah, it was a bittersweet satisfaction because I was exhausted. It's like I should have found it 8 hours ago. A lot of that stuff doesn't really exist anymore though, because they have so many, especially with AI now. But AI aside, like just the programs that they have for coding now, a lot of those type of problems don't really even exist anymore, because the programs will go through and debug it for you. So at least if you get stuck, it'll kind of walk you in the right direction. If not, give you the answer right out. One of the more enjoyable jobs I did, I was almost a journeyman locksmith. I was on my 4th year anyway. I was just going into my 4th year. But I really enjoyed locksmithing. Thoroughly enjoyed locksmithing. And I'll probably go back to that at some point when I'm old and farty and just have a van and putt around and fix people's doors. I don't think AI is going to take that away. Or fly tying, for that matter. Yeah, I specialized in high security locks. So I even got to go to Egypt and Israel and different places to study high security locks. They have some of the best in the world there. My cat's watching the chickadees and bluebirds out the window. Yeah, a lot of things I liked about animation is very similar to what I'm doing with fly tying, is just creating something, right? Taking something from absolutely nothing and either inspiring someone else or just, it's art, right? Creating something, making something that someone else can enjoy. That's awesome. Oh, this stuff sets up so quick. kind of buggering the head up a bit. Yeah, try and put a little bit more, see if I can smooth it out. Yeah, exactly. That'll be the only thing that wasn't. Ooh, that was way too much. Get that off of there. Yeah, I'd like to have a nice, relaxing. Like this would be excellent for a retirement job hobby. That's probably why so many people do it. I rarely get frustrated with a fly. If you have a problem, you can just start over again. There, that took a lot longer than I wanted it to, but it's a little smoother on top now. Yeah, this quick dry stuff, well, it's insta dry, I guess, not quick dry. That's the stuff there. It dries incredibly faster than the, surprisingly faster than the regular Sally Hansen's. Got it on sale at the local pharmacy. Kind of wishing I had picked up more than one. Later, wee man. Enjoy dinner or breakfast. Sorry. Well, maybe it is dinner for you. I'm just gonna rotate this for a minute just to get all those bumps out. Give it a little more smoother finish. Okay, I think we're at 5 now, so we can start putting the where are we here? We can start doing the hackles and feathers on them. We're just gonna be using this black rooster cape. It's a natural black. I don't have too much natural black rooster, to be honest. I prefer the natural ones if I can find them. Not that there's a problem with dyed black, it's just the black dye is pretty harsh and makes them generally kind of brittle. And a lot of times when they're black dyeing something, it'll be like a messed up dye batch from something else. Not always, but a lot of times I find that when you pull it apart or strip it down a bit, you can see the other color underneath. 'Cause yeah, if you're dyeing stuff and a dye batch doesn't work for whatever reason, then obviously you can just re-dye it black on top of almost any color. And the original colors in those cases are normally white, so the color kind of bleeds through. Okay, we're going to start back at the start here. We got 5 there now? Yeah, we got 5. Okay, so he's nice and hard now. Nice and glossy. That turned out good. He's got a nice, like, that's the other benefit of the thread wraps is they leave that kind of slight ant texture to it. Ants have that kind of, well, just like that, That's nice. I like that. Okay, now the hard part of trying to pick out a small enough feather from this cape, because it's got a lot of big feathers on it. But there we go. We'll be pulling off this little neck here. It's got a little, as you can tell, like mottled white mixed in there, so I'm just going to dig through until I can find a workable black one. Hey. Yeah, she's a hunter too. She would definitely take out whatever's out there if she had a chance. Well, this looked like a nice one, but it's all white on the bottom. Not that it's a horrible thing to have white legs, but I was going for black, so I'll save that. See if I can get a better one out of there. Grizzly's another really common hack we'll use for this too. So I can't get too many. We're not going for a huge amount of wraps either, just a couple. Okay, I think I got a couple here. Let's pull them out. There. I do like to try and get them from the same area if I can help it, so that all my flies are a little more consistent. Got one little guy here, but put him off to the side for now. Okay, looks like we got 3 here at least. So, got these 3 little guys. They should do. So at least we'll be consistent with 3 flies. I'll try and get some more in the same area there. Stripping off the fluff, just like we would with any others. Now, being that these are just legs, we're not too worried about. The webbing in there, but I'm gonna try and strip most of the webbing off. There, you can see it a little better that way. Probably wasn't the best idea to wear a black shirt, but live and learn. Now, what I should actually do here, one second. I'm gonna switch over to some nano silk, so I'm not building up. A lot of bulk here. This nano, yeah, this one's nano. Don't need to do this. You can totally do this with regular. This will just allow me to have more securing wraps on it and not build up as much. It's a flat GSP too, so it doesn't bind well at all, but it should dig into that. Really? For pike minnow? Hey Shark, good to have you in, man. How do you make money off pike minnow? I'm curious. You gotta explain that. Aren't pike minnow kind of a useless, well, not useless fish, but you know. Because we even have those up here. I don't mind fishing for them. Man, this is like really tiny GSP, and it's hard to cut cleanly anyway. Don't mind me while I get this through here. Yeah, hey Shark, good to have you in, man. Sorry, just fighting with my bobbin here. Ugh, there we go. This will give me a few wraps without it being too crazy. Now this should dig into that nail polish pretty good. Thanks, Shark. Okay, let's go with this guy. Dig this in. I gotta keep the pooch happy. It's like the most important part of their whole day is the food. Doing smaller stuff like this, actually, if you have like a cuticle cutter or a thread ripper, that works really good for taking these off. Yeah, they'll be mad at you don't get that done. Get on that. My dog would tell me all about it. And he wouldn't stop telling me about it till he got it done. Okay, so we're not looking for a whole lot of wraps here, like probably 3 is going to be the most I'm going to get out of this. This is just to imitate the legs, not to make it float or anything. And if I was production tying these or just making them for my own box, which these ones probably will end up being, to be honest, I would just use grizzly hackle. Just trying to tie it in nice and tight on that side there. There we go. I think I actually ripped the... like I broke it. Yeah, it looks like we're good. Alright, just so you guys can see it a little better. Got a few sticking out there. But I'm going to push them back a half inch here. Don't want to cut them off. Yeah, that one worked pretty well. I'm happy with that one. Yeah, they can be very effective when they're out. The little red butt, especially if you're looking for like around mouths of creeks or places where there's a lot of tree overhang, that kind of thing. Because they're a terrestrial, so you got to be fishing them in a place where they would normally kind of fall in the water accidentally. You can put wings on them too. The first 5 I was going to tie up were just going to be regular ants, but we can definitely tie some wings on. You tie the wings in at the head. There we go. But yeah, you can do that. You don't need to use nano silk to do that. It just makes my life a little easier. It's nice and thin. It's like what denier is this thing? 12/0, so 500 denier. It's super thin and really strong actually for the size of it. It works great for doing like mosquitoes and stuff, like small little bugger flies. Well, I guess this is a pretty small little bugger fly. That's why I left a good bit of room by the head there. If I decide to put some wings on it, then I can do it up front without much of an issue. One thing I will say is that even this nano silk, like the GSP, will just eat up your scissors. Alright, so there we go. Trying to figure out what way to put my hand. There we are. That's better. There we go. Happy with that little bugger. Actually, let's see if maybe I can get some little white feathers off here. Yeah, you can even use goose biots for the Oh, I was wondering if it was something like that. Because, yeah, I know they're kind of like, I don't want to say a garbage fish because there isn't really a garbage fish necessarily, but you know what I'm saying. They eat a lot of other fish's eggs and cause all sorts of problems. That's probably why they're paying for them. I'm not sure if I'm going to get too kind of cat, really? Come here. Come here, say hi quick. Then you can bugger off, okay? Meow, 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 meow. Yeah, I know. Why don't you go watch the birds? You don't need to be in my feathers. Come on. There you go. Yeah, I was going to try and get some of these white ones out of here, but I think I'm going to grab some. And she hit my tripod. Come on, cat. There we go. Yeah, what the hell? Let's throw some. Oh, okay. Well, I don't imagine. Like I said, I fish for them here, and we catch them in the rivers here. Yeah, there's plenty of different species that were introduced that cause problems that are good to cull to some extent. What was I gonna say? I fish for them in the rivers here, and they're fun to catch. They can be a little tricky to catch. They seem to be really soft on the mouth when it comes to uptake on them, at least in my experience. So I got all these really nice little feathers on the bottom here. Let's see if I get it on frame. You see I picked it pretty thoroughly already. Well, these are the ones I'll normally use for wings. So I'll see if I can get 2 of them out of here. And we'll throw some wings on this little guy, why not? I wasn't going to, but they look cool, so we'll just throw some wings on there. As I can get 2 together. Especially for wings, I like to try and get them next to each other, so they're the same color pattern. There we go. You stay away from my feathers. She's eyeballing that cape up like it's candy. Okay, we're going to do these 2. I'll save that one for the next one. So, we'll do these 2 little guys. I had no idea they paid that well. The downside of that is they might not do that forever too, so if it's kind of like a retirement thing, you know, they may only offer that for 5 or 6 years till the population's down. But it'd be fun to do while it's available, that's for sure. I'm going to tie these in right at the head. Let's see how this goes. I was going to tie them in together, but I think I'll do them one at a time just so I can strip this fluff off. There we go. Yeah, that'll work. Now you have a couple options. You can have these pointed down or pointed up. It's just all personal preference. I'm going to go with down. You see the feather has a bit of a natural curve to it, so if you point them up, you're going to end up more like that, and if you point them down, it's going to more hug the body. And most of the ants have a kind of close to their body wing, so that's what I'm going to go with here. I'm just going to try and get one off to the side. Cat, you're driving me nuts here. You're going to shut my stream off. 1 second, I got to stop her from stepping on it. No. Yep. Okay, say hi again, and then go away. Meow. You're gonna shut my stream off. Go away. She has a tendency, I don't know why, probably because she wants attention, to like to step on the power button on our computers, to the point where I've actually got a couple fridge magnets, and I just put the fridge magnets over the power button, and she'll jump up there all the time and just paw at the power button. Yeah, she's an evil little thing sometimes. Come on, cat, at least let me get my first set of wings in before you destroy everything. Yeah, you. Ah, she's just rubbing against my tripod here. Okay. I love her, she's a cutie, but man, sometimes. Okay, so let's go. Yeah, totally, 100%. She's very demanding on her love. Love me now. Hi, there we go. I'm getting cat hair everywhere now. Come on, cat. Okay, let's try and get those rakuses out. Yeah, there's plenty of synthetic options you have to do wings like that. Like we're going over before, the kind of pearlescent mylar makes a pretty good wing. You can use different types of ribbons. Oh my god, no. You need to stop. I'm gonna go toss you in the other room and keep this up. Come on. I know exactly, she's going right for that power button. Yeah, I know. Yeah. She probably wants treats. Okay, just gonna tie this in. There we go. They're a little closer together than I originally had them. Just gonna see if I can separate them a little bit. Excuse me. Nope. Yeah, I've always found that something greasy and stinky like that works really good for them. We used to use like Cavasau sausage or something like that, or bacon or cheese. They're fun to catch though. Like I said, they're a little. Oh my god, cat. Okay, look. Come here. I know. We're gonna finish this flight, and then she's gonna have to go in the other room because she's being a toot. Okay, guys, I'm gonna take a quick 5-minute break here, give her some treats, and put her in the other room with some catnip. Thank you. I'll finish this up in a second here. So I'm just gonna do a quick break here. Hold on, cat. I know she's already stepped on my keyboard and opened up all my shortcut menus. And we're back. Our cat's happy with some cat treats and catnip now, so hopefully she'll enjoy herself and take a nap. Not likely, but hopefully. Alright, let's get this thread cut off. Yeah, I'm happy with that little guy. He turned out good. I can't recall if I whip finished you or not. I think I did. Yeah. I'll do just like a couple turns of whip finish just in case I didn't. Pretty sure I did though. Alright. Sorry about the sniffy nose. The cat gets me allergic. Alright, so there we go. We got a nice little ant there. With little wings up top. I do prefer them with the wings. I do think that they're more effective like that. Cute little bugger. I'll do a quick little spin and spiel on him. Just fixing my stream up here, guys. I agree with you. There we go. Thanks for waiting. Sorry about all that with the cat. Okay, so we're gonna pop him in the cork here. Oh yeah, she's just as bad when I'm trying to sleep. Don't kid yourself. Especially me, she likes me more than anyone. I'm like her person. Next to my daughter. But yeah, she always comes to me for the love and the hug and the pets. And normally I'm perfectly happy to oblige her and get covered in hair and sneeze, but in this case, did I lose my? I think she knocked my little feathers off too. You little bugger. See if I can find him. 1 second. There's one. There's two. I can't believe I found those. Those little black guys, and I ended up finding them. She knocked them off the table. Okay, good. Well, let's get this going here. Doo-doo-doo. I'm gonna pre-cut the stems on these this time, and I'm gonna give them a little crimp because that GSP is super slippy. Come on, eyeballs, don't fail me now. There we go. Alright, so back to the nano silk. Cat hair everywhere now. Get a good number of wraps here. There we go. Yeah, I had one for a good while, and it does come in handy. Yeah, no shade on people that have magnifiers, because, man, sometimes it's really hard to see everything. Okay, small hackle pliers, get that wrapped up here. I forgot to do my spin and spiel on that last fly. The cat distracted me so much. I'll have to toss it back in here after and do it. I do like the legs to be pointed more back than forward. Oop. Let's try that again. Really, buddy, come on now. I'm trying to get like just a tip, mind you. We really only need like 1, 2 to 3 wraps at the most. So we're just doing this for the legs. Give some indication of movement. There you go. Enjoy the jump game. There we go. Thank you. I think the most ones are going to run into is going to be like the workers and stuff that are out exploring, the ones that fly. Okay, let's get the wings tied in. This is the one that had that little thread up front. Yeah, some material prices you could probably do pretty good sitting out with a cardboard sign being like, need fly tying material. Please, anything helps. And this is partially why I left so much room up front here, is to get these wings in nice. Yeah. A Nooka hook. Let's see if I get two. Those two look good. I bet you get people tossing you money because they find it hilarious. I'll make a funny YouTube video too, to be honest. Not my style thing, but it would be hilarious. Wow, that kind of crushed itself. Let's try that again. Just trying to set it a little bit more on my side of the hook, so I can have the two of them separated a little bit. Don't super need that, but I likes it like that. Yeah, that'll do. He's a little on the small side, but that'll do. I'm gonna try and pull this up with these tips are getting pretty small. See if I can do it with the tweezers. That worked pretty good. Yeah, I think all the other fishermen would take pity on you and provide you with sustenance. Well, it would be pretty funny. So this one side here, they should be the identical wing because they came right from each other, but the one side looks a little bit thinner on me. But it could just be my eyeballs. Nice thing about tying in wings too like this is you get a nice head as well, and that will differentiate the thorax and the butt. Just helps to break the fly up. Don't need them at all, like they're definitely an additive, but I do find that they work. I do get a lot more action on the ones with wings for sure. I think it's really just more to do with the contrast. Yeah, happy with that little booger. Look at him. Happy little ant. Cute little thing. Yeah, let's get a little head cement on there. I'm just gonna do head cement on these. I don't think I'm gonna put any gloss on them. Just a little bit on there. Yeah, thank you. What would happen if I put an LR? Sorry, man, I'm not sure why it pulled your message back. I'm not sure what you meant by LR. Hey, Val. Give me a second here. We'll do my spin and spiel, and I'll be right back with you guys. And the vise today we have a little red ant. This is a wonderful little pattern. It's super simple and easy to tie. It's just a bunch of red thread, a bunch of black thread, a little bit of black hackle in the middle for the legs, just your black rooster hackle, and two grizzly hackle, small little hackles from the front for the wings. Easy little pattern, basically just two materials and easy to toss in into your box. This is an excellent terrestrial for mid-summer. Yeah, mid-summer is when a lot of these things will come out and they'll start hatching and migrating, and they'll land in a lot of areas, especially if you're fishing around the mouth of a creek or right along the edge of a lake where there's lots of overhanging trees. Excellent excellent little bug to have in your box. Eh? Add a couple to your box. Thank you kindly. Okay, I got my mic off so I can't hear you guys, but I know you can hear me hopefully. So I'm just going to switch that up for the other one, and I forgot to do the spin on here because I liked the way the wings turned out a little better on this one. So we'll pop him back in there for a second, do a spin on him too, and then we'll move on, get the wings on the other guys. And in the vise today, we have a nice little red ant. This has a nice thorax and a red uni, and a black thorax and a black uni, and just a thread body with a little bit of black hackle in the middle there for the legs, and two hackle wings, which are grizzly hackle, tied in. Super simple pattern, basically two materials, and this is an excellent terrestrial for mid-summer. Wonderful little pattern. Add a couple to your box, eh? There, I'll see if I like the one with the hand up better. You can see the contrast on the fly a little bit more. What would happen if I put a bullet primer on a lure with a cable so you can use it to detonate it when the fish bites? Well, that would probably be illegal. I'm pretty sure that's not in the fishing regulations, but I'm sure there's people that do stuff like that. It would probably destroy the fish. Alright, tea time. Alright, let's get some more wings tied in here. Or sorry, legs first and then wings. Man, this nano silk is just super slippy stuff. Super slippy. It reminds me a lot of Kevlar. I used to tie with Kevlar. It also reminds me I need to sharpen my scissors too. Hopefully your stream went pretty well there. Well, I caught a little bit of it. There we go. Tip's broken on this one, so we'll see how well this one ties in. I'll grab the fibers that are available and see how we get along. Oh, maybe I was thinking of one of your shorts or something that popped up though. Or my brain's just failing me. One or the other. That's likely too. I don't know if I'm gonna get another wrap in there or not. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. I'll tie you off anyway then. Man, I got cat hair floating everywhere now that she's been here. There we go. Well, she sounds like she's happy with her catnip and treats. Maybe that's what she wanted. Come on, cat. She has like the lightest, thinnest little fluffy hair. Oh, I think that maybe was what my brain was. I'm sorry. I apologize, man. There you go. I'm sorry, Valhalla. I think that's what my brain was thinking about your dad and all that, and I think that's what I was thinking about. I apologize. Hopefully he's doing better soon here. Yeah, that's never a fun time, man. There's nothing easy or good about that. But everyone I know that's gone through it is all recovered. It just takes time. Well, that's probably where you get your tenacity from, so. I'm sure he'll hold in there. Okay, let's get another set of wings here. Yeah, that'll happen, man. Like I said, it's a long road. But he'll come out on top in the end. There we go. So we got our two little wings there. I'm gonna try and actually strip these off. I'm gonna try and tie them in together. See how it goes. They're sitting pretty nice like that, so I'm gonna try and tie them in together. Normally I wouldn't bother, but see if I can get this bottom stripped first. Yeah, that's genetics. No worries, Rob. Thanks for hanging out, man. I'm glad. Hopefully you enjoyed your break there. Yeah, they didn't even buy you dinner first. guess I need thread. Jesus. See you, Rob. Have a good day, man. Okay, there's one. The other one fall too. There's two. Knock it loose. Yeah, that's the problem with these little feathers. I mean, you just breathe on them wrong and they disappear. I think this is it. Well, you're gonna be it. I don't know if you're the same one. I think you're it. Yeah, you look good enough. There we go. Yeah, I like that. Turned out real well. Got a little fluff just hanging out up front there. It's just like a little too short for me to clip, which is annoying. That's good. It won't impact anything. Get a whip finish on that collar, good. Well, actually, maybe I'll do at least 1/2 inch first here, and then we'll get that whip finish going. Because this GSP is super slippy. Hey, Fishing with Rivers, did you drop another jewel for me, mate? It's a little weird I'm not seeing your chats here. If you are chatting, I apologize. The YouTube's chat's been messed up the last while. There he is. Thanks, Rivers. I appreciate that, man. There's a nice little red ant for us there. I like him. He's cute. We'll get his friends done up here too. Thanks for that, mate. Yeah, just so everyone's aware, not that I'm asking for donos or anything, but any donations and gems that I get and from now until May, I think it was May 4th or May 6th, I think it was May 4th, Any donation due now, May 4th, is a promo that YouTube's doing for Canadian YouTubers. And we get an extra 50% on any of the super chats and gems and all that stuff. So I appreciate that, man. I'm gonna get an extra 50% for that one. Thank you kindly. Me and my family are very, very thankful for all the donations. There's a cute little, I like him actually. The wings turn out really good on that one. I'll do a little spin and spiel on that. I'll be right back. And the vise today, we have a nice little red ant with a cute little bulbous red butt and a nice black thorax. Those are tied in with some uni thread. This is in a 6/0, and just a little bit of black hackle right in the middle between the thorax and the butt. And it's 2 wings made up with just some grizzly hackles, so some little hackle tips. Wonderful little pattern, easy to tie, basically 2 materials, and really good for mid-season, mid-summer terrestrials when these things are going to be migrating and traveling and just getting all over everything. Annoying little things, but they make a great addition to your box. Add a couple to your box. A wonderful little thing. Yeah, thanks, Rivers. I do appreciate that, man. I really do. Got a couple more of these to wing up. You missed our body tying. Yeah, I think they're... Yeah, I think they're... I don't know if they're pulling it back or whatnot, because, yeah, I got, like... At the time that they put that promotion out, I think they gave me an extra... I don't remember if it was 100 or 150, somewhere in there. But it's always good to get free stuff, right? Why not? Tea time. Alright, let's get these last couple on here. I'll pull this fluff off. This one's going to be a little bit on the longer side, but he'll do just fine, because we're just doing this for legs. And I'm going to trim that rachis off. Pink, just like so. And I will say, I'm not a huge fan of GSP, but for things like this, where you don't want to build up a lot of bulk in the middle of a fly or attaching just a couple small things, it works a treat for this. And like mosquitoes and stuff, where you need to be really mindful of your thread tension. Oh, I guess I didn't have that tied in quite as well as I thought I did. That is the downside. It is slippy as all get out. It's hard to hang on to. It's hard to tie knots with. I don't know if I get it in there tight enough. Yeah, really. Okay, hold on. I need to get more thread off there. I don't know if I get in tight enough, it'll bite into that. The lacquer finish and stick real nice. There we go. That feels much better. Unfortunately, this one's tip broke off, but we'll make do with what's in there. Won't make any difference on the fly at all. Okay, soft hackle. Or not soft hackle, little hackle pliers is what I was going to say. Feeling that this hackle's a little bit on the longer side from the other two. That should make up for it being slightly shorter as well. All we need is like 2 wraps, really. If I get a third, I'm happy. Don't need that much. It's just to give it the look of legs. That'll do. Okay, I'll throw a couple half hitches to pin those few that are pointing forward back. Not super necessary, but just makes it a little cleaner. This might take a few. That's fine. A couple more on this side. There we go. Now they're all getting pretty straight. One more. That's much better. There we go. Nice little buggy. I like him. Okay, we'll cut that off. You could also just wrap this up. You don't necessarily have to cut it off. I just like the shiny body. If I was going to wrap it up, I'd try and wrap over the top here because the wings are going to hide that anyway. But if you didn't want to cut that off, you could easily make a wrap up to the head here. That's not really going to interrupt that pattern at all. Probably make it a little bit more secure. Okay, so we got 2 little guys here. That'll do. I'll have to do these one at a time. I was trying to do them together, but haven't had much luck with that this morning. So we'll do them one at a time. Nothing wrong with that. This actually looks more like a left-leaning, a right-leaning feather, so we'll tie that one in first. Normally I tie my closer one in first. Just because it's a little bit easier to adjust this one after and not have it pulled over too much. But that'll do. That tag in right now, it's sticking out nice. Come on, you. That'll do. Yeah, there you go. That's normally my daily run. Not today, though. Welcome back, Yoshi. Yeah, like I said, this is normally my morning run getting the kids to school. Okay. Now we'll get some whip finishes in there. All good. Yeah, I like him. He's good. Yeah, roofing sucks for that, like especially with the getting flats in your driveway and like there's so many nails everywhere afterwards. Even if they're careful, it just ends up all over. Done a few roofs. It's not easy work, but it's messy. There we are. That's a cute little ant. I like him. That one turned out well. Hey Roy, thanks for the compliment, mate. Appreciate that. Yeah, just gonna do a quick little spin and spiel here. Yeah, I've done 3 or 4, helping out family and friends, that kind of thing. Definitely not an expert at it, but I mean, it doesn't seem like it's rocket science either. And the vise today, we have a nice little red ant with a nice little red thread butt on it and a black thread thorax. We have some black hackle in the middle for the legs and some grizzly hackle for the wings. Wonderful little pattern. This is an excellent terrestrial pattern you should have in your box at all times, but especially fish during midsummer when all the terrestrials are out and migrating and moving around and being annoying little buzzy things that they are. Wonderful little thing for if you're fishing next to the open mouth of a river or creek or any overhangs where a lot of ants will be climbing up trees and whatnot. Yep, just an excellent little pattern. Add a couple to your box, eh? Thanks kindly. There we go. Hey. Oh, that's bad. Yeah, nothing's worse than a roof leak. Well, except for a pipe break in the winter, I guess, probably be worse. Still, hopefully they get it all sorted. Like I said, it's not a fun time. Sounds like they're on it though. Once you get a new roof in, you can fix all the other damage. Okay, we need one more of these black hackle feathers here. Are they not in the house or something? Sounds like they weren't. We have a lot of kind of like vacation homes up here, so we do get that fairly often where people will up and leave the place all winter and come back in the summer to a bunch of damage. So it's not unheard of, that's for sure. This one's got a good bit of damage to it. You see it's missing a chunk there and it's missing the tip, but I think it'll work. So we're gonna tie it in there and try it out. I have a good feeling about it, even if it's got a lot of damage to it. We're gonna give it a fighting chance with some grippy hemostat punch on it there. But yeah, I think he'll actually work out okay. There we go. Okay, we got some little hackle pliers on the tips there. And we'll get to wrapping. Again, we only need like two to three turns kind of max on this. This is just representing the legs. It's not trying to float it. Yeah, that actually filled it up real nice. I don't even need the whole feather. Excellent, okay. There you go. There you go, sometimes the broken ones are a good choice. Yeah, I'm happy with how that turned out. Oh, was it your house, Yoshi? Oh, shoot. I thought you said it was your neighbor's. I'm sorry, my speech bot doesn't always do the words right. Oh, that sucks, man. Like I said, roof leaks are right up there with a handful of other problems that are just like the worst home problems you can have. But once you get the roof on, like I was saying, then you can start fixing all the other stuff. It still sucks though. Yeah, it's amazing how you can have like a smaller leak and it can cause all sorts of damage. Okay, so for this one, like we were talking about, I'm going to just actually bring this thread. Oop, it's not exactly what I wanted to do. Let's try that again. I bring this thread. Really, buddy. Bring this thread around. Yeah, that's the odd thing with leaks like that, is they can take all sorts of weird paths and just do all sorts of weird stuff. Well, I got a few little tidbit ends here, but I think they might be too small. Yeah, those are a little small. It's too bad. We got two more here. Yeah, that's weird thing with leaks like that is, like you said, it'll happen once and then you'll think it's gone and it'll actually have been leaking for, you know, a long time. One thing we get in Canada here very often is we get ice damming, where the ice will actually go up into the rafters from where the cold and the warmth meet, and then you'll get like little drips, and it'll act like a leak when it's really not. It's just the ice melting. And those can upset people, but they're generally pretty harmless other than the moisture that they create. Let's tie a little more up top here. Yeah, I don't doubt it, man. Oh, that didn't, just not going right where I want it. I'm being a little picky, but I want it to be a little more centered. Just a wee bit, mind you. That's impressive. You're getting closer on your subscriber count, though. I know it's been a slow burn for you, but it is for most people. Oh, I broke the racus. Well, let's see if I can get that in anyway. Let's see here. Wasn't exactly what I was planning on doing, but I think we'll make it work. Yeah, there we go. Good enough. That's not bad actually at all. That's kind of rather cute. There we go. That shows that you have ingenuity if you survive 20 months without income. I'm just gonna do half hitch here. Or not half hitch, whip finish. Get this one done. There we go. There we go, cute little guy. Like him. Yeah, sorry, Yoshi, I didn't know you got hurt. I was out for a better part of a year when I broke my hip. That sucked. Split it right down the middle on a bike accident. Wow, I'm really overexposed right now. Sorry about that. Here, I'll see if I can adjust that quick. Sun came up, so I think it's mucking the exposure. Oh. That's a little better. Pinchners suck. Oh yeah, been there, done that. That's hard work. Dad ran a landscaping business. Hey, gonna do a quick spin and spiel on this guy. Get him wrapped up. Yeah, the vice today we have a nice little red ant. It's got a nice little bulbous red butt with red uni thread, a nice bulbous thorax in black uni thread, some black chicken hackle, nice and small, wrapped up around sparsely for the legs, and two grizzly hackle wings coming off the top. Wonderful little patterns, excellent terrestrial for midsummer when all the terrestrials are out migrating around and just buzzing and annoying everyone. But they also become excellent fish foods, so have a couple in your box. Wonderful little pattern. Add a couple to your box, eh? There we go. Well, it looks like yeah, all that stuff's hard. My back's fine, but my hips are shot. Yeah, I don't blame you, Yoshi. Nerve problems are, they can go south. Alright. Yeah, that's a hard choice. I guess you can always see if it gets better in some time. If it's, there are maybe some other options you can do besides surgery. Hey, Maddie. Okay, guys, we've been going for about 3 hours here, so I'm gonna take a break and get some lunch, and I'm gonna be starting work pretty soon here. So, thank you all for dropping in. I just want to thank all the donations that we got today. I really appreciate that. Me and my family thank you guys for your generosity. And yeah, I'll just give everyone a shout out here. Sorry, Maddie, I know you kind of just jumped in right at the end there, but I'll appreciate you having coming in. Blah, blah, blah. Appreciate you dropping in at the event. So yeah, we want to thank Maddie, thank Yoshi, Valhalla. Do we have Pacific Northwest in today? We had Riverfront Baits. We had Roy dropped in for a bit. Fishing with Rivers was in. Oh, good, thank you. Always good to have new people in too. We had Glacier Shark, of course. He was. Hey, good to have you in. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. Always good to have new subs in. We're here almost every day. But feel free to drop in tomorrow morning as well. But I gotta take off. Gonna grab some breakfast for myself, get some more tea because I'm out, and start my work day. So you guys all have a good morning and a good week. Best of luck to everyone. Thanks for hanging out.